Alright, so it's time for episode 9 now. So, I forgot to mention something here. Ross Bagdasarian Sr., who actually created the Chipmunks, was actually still alive when the Brady Bunch premiered. And, he died. He died when the Brady Bunch was in its 3rd season. So there could have been a potential. But after the Alvin show, he didn't really go back to TV. So he just focused on making record albums and not, didn't go back to TV because, as you may know, the Alvin show just went in a syndication, and that's it. No one. He didn't work on another TV or movie project, unfortunately. So, I still think there could have been potential in the early 70s for another chipmunk show. But, so anyway, let's compare, the Alvin show. This was, back in the 60s, so, the characters pretty much had the same personality as each other, so, there wasn't really much emotion between them, and unlike, when it came, on. But of course, Alvin was always the troublemaker, so anyway, let's compare the boys here. Okay, so anyway, this is Greg. He's the oldest. Just like, Alvin. Sometimes he's the oldest, sometimes he's the middle. It's kind of crazy, but I think of him as the oldest, so Greg, he always wants to hang out with girls. That's kind of how Alvin is, too, and this is, Barry Williams. And by the way, I have his autograph right here on this Alvin doll right here, so that's nice. And on the side, so I think, that defines him, Alvin. Well, he doesn't, he doesn't get in trouble as much, but, he's still, he actually, neglected his schoolwork to play baseball, and he lost. There was an episode where he, I think it was called, I don't remember. I think it was called, yeah, but anyway, I think it was in the 2nd season of the Brady Bunch. He neglected his schoolwork so he could be a Major League Baseball player, but he lost a game, and he took it very hard, and he cried a little bit, so So yeah, Alvin cries too a little bit on the show. He's kind of he's kind of a little bit of a drama queen, just like Brittany here. And now Peter, I wouldn't say he's the smart one like Simon. I wouldn't say he's the smart one like Simon. He doesn't wear glasses. And, he's the only character on that show that has brown eyes, so he's just, I don't know, he's just, I guess you could call him a nerd, but, anyway, he's the middle one, and, he's kind of dull. But, he never cried he's the only character on that show who never, cried or anything, so that makes him sort of like, Simon. But, I wish he was, although, he wanted to be a doctor, and he thought he had some kind of disease, so he is kind of absent-minded, too, and, clumsy. So is Jan, just like, Jeanette. And anyway, let's go to Bobby. Now, unlike, Theodore, he's kind of shy. He gets very offended when people call him like Shorty or Pee Wee or but I think Theodore was more insecure about his weight than Bobby was about. But I think Bobby likes to eat too. He wanted like the last dessert and yeah, so and anyway, he wants to be successful, but he can't. That's kind of how Theodore is. He even he cried because he lost out at crossing guard. Cindy got the position, but he didn't. He threw a little crying fit, but not too bad. But and he really likes the family dog Tiger. So those are some things. And Greg, let me tell you some Alvin. Let me explain some Alvin behavior he's had. He was in charge of putting having the kids dress up as the other kids dress up as ghosts to frighten off potential buyers. In fact, there was actually a current Alvin episode that was sort of like that. It was called Who Goes There, and they thought Dave wanted to move, and they really didn't want to move. And it was pretty much the same thing. That episode was called To Move or Not to Move. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities between these shows. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And and so and so there's another one where he steals the goat, which was the Coolidge High mascot. And so, he stole, the goat and snuck it up to the attic. And yeah, that's kind of out, that's Greg was being, kind of Alvin. That was kind of Alvin-like behavior for him when he snuck that goat in. And of course, if Alvin did something like that to Dave, he'd blow his top. He'd yell, "Alvin!" But it wasn't that bad. I think the Brady bunch, has happier endings than, Alvin and the Chipmunk episodes. So, he, anyway, he snuck the goat in, which was named Raquel, and then, then I guess his mother, his, mother and the principal were having a meeting at the house, and I guess the goat got loose and frightened, and the principal found out, and he had to write a 500-word essay. So it didn't really. That's probably the only Brady Bunch episode which doesn't really have a too happy of an ending, and the one where Cindy takes position as a crossing guard. So yeah, and Greg was driving with Bobby, and in the episode Greg gets grounded, and so Bobby told on his father that they missed getting into an accident because Greg was looking at the billboard and he almost hit the truck, so Greg got grounded as a result of that, and had to miss the concert for his Rachel, and that's he wanted to, but if he didn't get in as much trouble as Alvin, but if Alvin did some of that stuff, Dave might ground him for until he's I don't know how old Alvin is exactly, but yeah, that's about it for this episode. So I'm gonna talk more about I'm gonna talk more about comparing episodes in the next one. So stay cool, everyone. Comment, subscribe, please. Thanks. Bye.